Welcome to the StockMinute.com studios. I'm your StockMinute Brian Johnson. Finished up for the day, started the day down, so overall, a pretty bullish day. I think we ended up, down 4 or 5 points, whatever, to start the day, and now we were up 4 or 5 points by the end of it. So not a bad move by the Bulls overall, but nothing broken. Didn't go anywhere. Didn't do anything, quite honestly. You can see here that we had that move down at the end of yesterday, and so I said, let's see if we can get some confirmation by the Bears today, and or are we going to see what we've seen in the past back here, and I'll show you that on the daily. And that is, we gap down only to see the Bulls buy it right back up again. It's just a buying opportunity for the Bulls every time we see a dip. There's really nothing going on right here. Obviously, they're waiting for something. What? I don't know. But they're waiting for something. They're consolidating in through here, looking for the next more major move. Maybe we get some news tomorrow or the following day that gives us a break of where the markets want to go or what it wants to see next. But you can see that for the time being, it's going nowhere. Man, I can't tell you, I'm very, very tired of this trading range we're in. It's making for some very, very boring trading, but slowly grinding our way up. What I'm talking about is back a little ways. Let me take this daily back just about another month or two. Okay, so move it back to February. Here it is. Remember this crawl up? It's just, it makes me giggle because it's just so ridiculous. It was just one day after another, after another, after another. It was like the big guy trying to run his way up a hill or something, panting and wheezing and heaving, and man, he doing the best he could. And then when it decided to fall, boy, he just rolled over the side of the hill and started to crash down very hard. I think we're seeing maybe something similar here. Now, will it last 2 months? I don't think so. I don't think this type of a move is going to last that long. But I do think that when it does decide to roll over, and I'm going to look at it as a pullback. I'm not going to say that we're going to break 10,000 or break 9,700. I'm not going to say that yet. It's way too early for that yet. I am going to say, though, that once we do decide to roll over and maybe head the other way, I think it'll be kind of fast and furious. I think we're going to see maybe some more of this type of action to start. I don't know how long it'll last. We'll wait, but I'm telling you, we'll see. Once we get maybe up to this area, will it push that area? Will it break that area? We're starting to see it on the other indices, so maybe the Dow is the last kind of domino in the line to fall here. From a NASDAQ, you can see as it continues to climb its way up another $11 a day. That's on the NDX 100. The NASDAQ, the strongest of the NASDAQ stocks, are holding extremely well, and they're all holding this blue line. This is now the new line we're going to be watching going forward. Looking for breaks of that for our entries. You can see where it's already broken its last high. See that? Broke it, held it, holding it again today, continuing its trounce to the upside, watching that 1940-ish level. Look where we stopped, right at the 1939 level. Makes perfect sense to be kind of holding up here a little bit. Next move above would be about, I'd say 1950. Then above that, who knows, maybe the 1980-ish, 1975 to 1980-ish mark. But a very, very strong move by the Bulls as they continue to march themselves upwards, even stronger than what we saw back here. Look at that. That was a very, very massive move by the NASDAQ, and it is being dwarfed at this point by this. We'll see if the pullback comes, and when it does, how heavy that comes in. From a weekly perspective, starting to reach up and over this area. Can it close above that before the end of the week? I don't know. Thursdays and Fridays have been good times for markets to turn around and kind of pull back for a couple of days before getting into the new week. But you can see for the time being, it's doing great. This is way back around the 1920-ish mark, so it's got a little room to move if it's going to fall downwards. SPX on a 60, holding the blue line, but man, you can see it just barely. Boy, this 1130 area is really giving it fits in through here. Very clear on the daily as well. Why? Look at all this stuff here. Now, you're going to have your pundits going, look at the inverse head and shoulders. That's great. You bet. It is. It's there. I see it. Okay, I'm not sold on it. I'm not sold on it yet. So, but it is there. We should be paying attention to it. I just can't bring myself to love it yet. I don't know why. I just don't. Maybe it's the way it's forming. I don't know. But there's something about it here that I'm just not sold on yet. So I'm saying that, we get up and above 1130, as I've been saying all along, sure, go long. I don't have a problem with you going long. If you're long right now, I don't have any problem with you staying long. just telling you to be cautious. Be cautiously long at this point. We're getting a little stretched here, and I would be very, very careful as we creep upwards. So, SPX on a weekly as well, getting up and into those overhead areas right around that 1125, 1130 mark. I like the 1130 mark more than I like the 1125 mark for your overhead resistance, but it is what it is. Looks good on this chart. Waiting for breaks and ultimately closes up and above that. If it'll hold there and give us any kind of a strength, maybe we can get back into this area, but you can see the trading range that we've been dancing around in for the longest time. Still is a pretty clear left shoulder head and a right shoulder, so I will not, discredit that, but until I see some more strength coming into the markets, I would really like to see a pullback, ultimately, guys. If I'm being honest, I'd just like to see a pullback in this market before I really start to get more bullish on it. That'll give me a chance to kind of find out more about where we're at within this market. VIX was up today, up a good 2.5%. And guess what else? The market was up. Can we say non-confirmation? Sure we can. It's not a hard word. Non-confirmation. So we're getting a little bit of a movement into the VIX. Does that mean anything right now? No, but it is interesting to note that the VIX was up and the markets were up, not confirming the move up in the markets. And the markets were up all day, and with the VIX being up, still not confirming what we're seeing in the markets. There's more fear coming in this morning. I told you guys about that with that 1130 mark in the overhead area. Of course there's going to be some fear coming in. People know that we're at a very tense moment in the time, so what'll be the break? Well, we'll wait and see. I would not be surprised at all to see us break upwards here for a little bit, just a little bit, before ultimately then maybe a pullback. Wouldn't surprise me at all. So we'll see what happens into the end of the week. Keep your eye on this VIX, though. This is very, very interesting. I was expecting it to be more down here, actually, to be honest with you, by the end of the week, towards this 20 mark than I was up into here. So showing me that fear is starting to come in a little bit earlier than I thought. From a weekly, you can see it is up for the week, but once again, I mean, it's not major. Nothing major down here within the fear for the markets. Apple on a 60-minute, look at it climb its way up. You can hardly see those little teeny tiny candles, forming up here towards the top. Getting very, very stretched, but still upwards. It's good. That's up $2 for Apple. What a monster, huh? Jeez, just a monster of a stock. So I like this 271-ish area, and I really like for overhead resistance the 274, 275 area. I'll be watching those areas very closely if we continue to the upside. And things are staying stable. I mean, listen, Apple is crawling up here. But who cares? It's still up. Up is up. All right? Look at the volume down here. Volume's not necessarily going up, but it's not really going down. It's staying stale, which means there's still interest here. That's good. That's good for Apple. Now, is it stretched? You betcha it's stretched. I would be very careful going long Apple, but what a great opportunity to day trade. I think Apple's a great opportunity to day trade in through here. If you're not already long and holding from a while back, it's a great area. This was a good area down in here to start looking at some long positions. We had that one crazy week where the thing ran straight up and is still coming into these overhead areas of 275, 280-ish area that I've been watching for quite a while. Let's see what it does when it gets back up there again. Okay, so FAS broke its blue line, came back, and is now retesting the underside of it. Got to be very careful up here. Breaks back up and over 23 make for good long trades, but I think back below this 2165 can make for a pretty decent short trade at this point. I also like it up above 23, and its pattern still looks good. Pattern still a go for the bulls. I think it's still fine until we break back below these areas in this lower part here. Below $21 is probably the more safe place to get short. Maybe back below, 22, somewhere around in there. Might be a little bit more of a speculative short, but still not a bad place to get short. Long above 23. Then I like it back into 23.50 and ultimately $24.25, somewhere up in that area. Any break up over 23, I think, takes you to one of those two places. FAZ, on the other hand, breaking the blue line to the upside, only to dribble down and retest the underside. And I know I love these patterns. Anybody that's followed me for any length of time knows I love these patterns. I like to see this. This is cool. Okay. As long as it stays above this blue line, it remains cautiously bullish. Still bearish in the longer term, but cautiously bullish if it'll hold this blue line. But that doesn't mean it can't trickle down for another $3 or something, like that. So you have to be very careful with these trades. FAZ, just wait for the more major breaks, and that is still back here below about 1260, let's say, and above the 1350-ish area before you start looking for trades long or short in either one of these. That'll do it for today's vid. We didn't go anywhere. Look, once we got the break up and above here, you can see we've just been chopping sideways, slowly working our way to the upside. It is still up. It is still sideways. That is still bullish in the bigger picture. So until we break back to the downside, which we did over here. Notice this. Notice how we got this consolidation. This is a high base formation that failed. I have to be neutral to bullish in these type of scenarios until we see failure. I have to be neutral to bullish in this area until I see failure. I haven't seen it yet. So, not saying don't go long. You can see our entry was above 10,500. We're only 72 points above that, and we've been above 10,500 now for a couple of days. We're not going anywhere. This is really, really, really slow movement by the market. So be cautious if you're going long, and be looking for opportunities to get short. I like it still back below the 200 and areas like that. But be very cautious in your trading over the next few days, and let's see if things tend to change tomorrow into Friday. All right, talk to you tomorrow. Bye.